Levitt, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, and welcome, a new member.
Thank you.
And so, Tony,
Yes, I'm here, Paul.
okay. And Art is here, and Larry?
Here.
Okay, Christine's here. Phyllis?
Here.
Yep. And again, a new alternate.
Here.
Mr. Straka?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Tonight's meeting has been convened in accordance with the Governor's March 13, 2020 executive order, which suspends certain provisions of the open meetings law to allow a municipal board to convene a meeting via video conferencing. In accordance with this executive order, the public has been provided with the ability to view and participate in tonight's meeting by computer, smartphone, or telephone, and to view the meeting on the usual cable television channels. The recording of the meeting will be posted to the town website, and a written transcript of the meeting will be prepared and provided at a later date. There has been a roll call of the board members, and there is a quorum present for this meeting. I have also confirmed with the secretary that this meeting has been, well, Lisa?
That's okay.
Okay.
You can just carry on.
Enter your participant ID followed by pound. Otherwise, just press pound to continue.
Larry, that's your...
Larry, you're already in the meeting. It's
okay.
you're trying to enter again.
Anyway, we posted a copy of the notice of the meeting on the town's webpage and on the doors of the town hall, as the town's bulletin board is within the building and not presently available to the public. We have emailed a copy of the notice to the media, and we have confirmation that the legal notices for the public meetings have been properly published. And with that, I would note that under old business, number 1, Vassar College, there's a request to have that adjourned by the applicant to January 11th. Any objection to that? No, then I move we adjourn item number 1 to the January 11th, 2021.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All right.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, that motion's carried.
Paul,
Yes,
this is Phyllis.
yes.
I'm unclear as to whether or not this is a meeting I participate in or I do not participate in
So
as an
far,
alternate.
there have been no recusals, so it's just the full members that will be voting tonight, unless and until a recusal arises.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for clarifying.
I'm sorry I didn't do that earlier. And next is number two, that's Stewart Shops. The town board has voted on a moratorium, which necessitates an adjournment at least to the March meeting. And do you know what date that would be, Sonia?
Actually, technically, I'm sorry, but we may want to adjourn it only till February. The board has put the moratorium in place for 90 days, but there is a chance that they pass some legislation and reach some conclusion prior to that. So I would hate to have to
Okay.
have stewards wait an extra month if they didn't need to.
All right, what's the February date then?
Yeah,
February 8th?
8th.
Okay.
8th.
I make that motion that we adjourn Stewart's until February 8th.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that motion's carried. The next is under new business, number 3. I'm sorry. D'Alto, 47 Hagen Drive. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, very good. Okay.
Mr. Gialto, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're going to provide tonight is true and complete to the best of your knowledge?
Sorry, I can hear you that clear.
Okay. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're going to provide tonight is true and complete to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
All right, why don't you tell us what you want to do?
Nothing. doing a project in the back of my house. I already have an existing shed at the left side of my house. I just gonna put another shed on the back of my property that I fill in, and put a fence all the way around. That's it. I'm
Okay,
gonna
so-
put like a 6 foot fence around that property, and I was like moving that shed into the back.
So you've attached a drawing to your application, if I understand it
Yes,
correctly.
yes, we tried drawing and with John Lombardi, that is the the guy that is doing work of my house, the project of my house, and they also did a variant too for that.
Okay, so I just want to be clear, based upon the drawing that you submitted, it has two sheds. One which is
No, it's only, sorry.
one which is 2 feet off the side lot line, and the other one just has arrows for setback. My understanding is that you're simply going to replace the existing shed with a bigger one, but in about the same location, is that correct?
That's correct. It's not same location. It's going on the back of the property, more forward into the back of the property. For what is the one is already existing now, probably it's gonna go in like, right end of the property. I don't know, pretty much like, 10 feet back. I don't know how much back, but not that much back. It's gonna go in the back of the project that we did with John. That's to say, it only is gonna be one shed, not two. So
Okay.
replacing that.
And still 2 feet from the property, from the side lot line,
That's correct.
which is that what it is now, what the existing one is now?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Christine, do you have any questions?
No questions.
Art?
No questions.
Let's see. Tony?
No questions.
Larry?
No questions.
All right, it's going to be my policy that the alternates can also ask questions if they have any. Phil, I'm sorry, Diane?
Can I just clarify that the shed that is going to be built is in the rear right-hand side of the property? Is that the one we're discussing?
So on your
The drawing.
diagram that you submitted, there are two sheds. The one that says 2 feet from the side lot, that's the one you're going to replace, correct?
That's correct, yes. It's on the left, from the front of the house, it's on the left side.
Right, and and then it is moving to the right-hand side in the rear?
No, no, the one to the right inside that you guys came to look at yesterday, that is my neighbor property. It's not even my property. And that guy is gonna put it, he's gonna take my shed, give it to him, and he's gonna replace in his property, but it's gonna be at 10 feet from my property because we asking with the John that the guy is one of the shed is gonna put at 10 feet. My shed is gonna be what is the one already existing, but put it in the back. So the one that I have now is gonna be move it from there, replace and give it to my neighbor. He's gonna deal with that, and I just put a new one into the back of my property. That's it.
Okay, so there'll just be one shed on your property?
That's correct. Only one, yes.
Okay. Diane, anything, is that clear now?
I guess so, yeah. It's not what the picture shows, but it's
Right.
clear.
Okay, any other questions?
I have a question. My name is Kent Pritchard. I'm his neighbor.
Kent, could you hang on just a second?
Mr. Pritchard,
Yep.
do you
Hang on.
swear?
Wait.
I'm sorry.
Tony, do you have any questions? Are you muted?
I think Tony already.
Well, it
Paul,
looks,
I think you need to specify which Tony you're
I
asking.
have no question. Oh,
yes.
Tony, yes.
Tony, yes.
Oh, yes, yes. Not a question, just a clarification. There's actually two drawings. So this, the one that shows the swimming pool makes it a lot more clear than the initial drawing. Just a comment.
Yeah, you're right.
Io, aspetta un momentito,
Okay.
dopo, disposto.
All right, thank you. Anything else? Any other questions from the board? Okay, Mr. Pritchard?
Hi, thank you very much.
Excuse
I
me,
just,
Mr.
Hang on just a
Pritchard?
second. I'm going to have you sworn in if you're going to give any.
thank you.
Okay.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're going to provide tonight is true and complete to the best of your knowledge?
To the best of my knowledge, yes, it is.
All right. What do you have to say?
It's just a clarification or something we can follow up on with the Gidio and me. It's the location of the shed that's currently on the property. I don't believe it's 2 feet from the property line, but I'm gonna survey my lot, and I'm just letting Gidio know that I don't think that current shed is 2 feet off the property.
You think it's more or less?
Less, much less.
Okay.
Okay, so
I
I want to support Egidio's motion, though. I don't have any concern about him putting a new shed, right, or replacing it with the one, just as long as it's 2 feet off the property line.
No, I just want to clarify that the shed is already existing there. I didn't put it there. There was already there from the old neighbor, for the old owner of the house, sorry. And so I was keeping like that. But I know that's for law, the new shed is going 2 feet. So that's why on the map there with the sign with the John to put at 2 feet from the line property that we already know. But the one that is existing now, it's right. He's right. It's not at 2 feet from the property. It's almost touching the fence of. He told me that him and the old owner of the house, they built it together, that fence. So, but I don't have problem to put it I want to put it at 2 feet from the property. I already know how I work by law, and I'm gonna do that. I don't gonna put it close into the fence or his property.
Right.
So
That's
in
correct.
fact, the new shed will be farther from the property line than the existing shed, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. The shed is already existing. Probably, I don't know, it's a feet or whatever, something like that, or probably even not. I don't know, but it was already there when I bought the house in 2008. So I didn't even move it. I didn't do anything at my house, so I didn't even move into the back. So, with my neighbor, I got a good relationship. He never say anything. I never did anything on the back. So, but now that I'm redoing the back and I want to put another shed, I was going to put back of the property, and 2 feet I was supposed to be from the side from my line property. That's it.
Okay.
Good deal. Thank you, Egidio. You're a good guy.
No problem.
I know.
No problem.
All right. Is there anyone else that wants to comment on this application? There was someone named Art. Did you want to comment?
No.
Okay.
This is Ken Pritchard again. Just briefly, I'm supporting Egidio. I want him to put the shed in, and I don't have a problem with the new shed coming in. All right. It was just a clarification. That's all.
Okay.
On the old shed. Thank you.
Thank you. And Art, did you want to comment?
No, I didn't.
Okay, very good. I don't hear anyone else, so I'll make a motion to close the public hearing on this application.
Second?
Second.
Thank you.
And all those in favor signify by aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. Then that's carried. Next is item number 4. This is Linda Apuzzo, 22 Ridgewood Terrace.
So I'm sorry. Can I leave that meeting?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can I leave?
I should have explained this at the
I just want to
beginning.
make sure if I can go.
Here's the process for the procedure for tonight will be, we'll take each of the applications, we'll take all the information on that, and then once we close the public hearing, there'll be deliberation at the end of the meeting, and then we'll vote then. So you can either stay on and listen to the whole thing and find out at the end of the night, or you can check with zoning in the morning to find out whether or not your application has been approved.
Good deal. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay.
Or you can call me in the morning.
I can call you in the morning, you say?
Yes. Yep.
Oh,
Zoning
okay.
administrator. Call the zoning office.
Okay, sorry, no, because I'm at work. I don't know how long it will be, all the stuff. If I was at home, I will.
Yeah, no
definitely-
problem. Give me a call, 8 o'clock in the morning.
You guys,
See you
thank
then.
you guys.
Thank you.
Take care.
Have a good, happy holidays if I see you guys.
Good night,
Bye.
Egidio.
Bye,
Bye.
thank you, good night.
Right. And Ken Pritchard is leaving too. Thank you very much, folks.
Okay, good night. Next is number 4, Linda Apuzzo, 22 Ridgewood Terrace.
Yes.
Um,
Matt?
Okay.
Ms. Apuzzo, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're going to provide tonight is true and complete to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, I do.
All right, what would you like to do?
I am selling my parents' house. They have both passed away. And there is an existing shed in the backyard that needs a code variance.
Okay. All right, do you know how long the shed's been there?
The shed has been there about 30 years.
Okay. All right. Christine, do you have any questions?
No questions.
Art?
No questions. I mean, there's absolutely no other place in the yard to put that shed.
Yeah.
Well, I'm good.
Tony D?
Tony D has no questions.
Okay. Larry?
No questions.
Okay. Diane?
No questions.
Okay, and then Phyllis?
I have no questions.
Okay. And Tony S?
I have no questions.
All right. Anyone from the public who wishes to comment on this application? All right, I don't see any response, so in that case, I'll move to close the public hearing in this application.
Second.
Second.
Any conversation, any discussion? No. All those in favor signify by aye.
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 Any opposed? Then that motion's carried. Next is item number 5. This is Martin Bachter, 20 Channingville Road. Well, it's actually...
Oh,
Leonard Leopold Bachter?
I'm Leo Bachter, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Bachter, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're going to provide tonight is true and complete to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, I do.
So you provided a verification oath and designation as the executor of the estate, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are both property owners deceased?
Yes.
Okay, and have you been granted either letters or been appointed as the executor?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, the house, right now, we're in contract for selling the house right now.
Okay. And do you have anything from Surrogate's Court other than this document that you provided?
I got all kinds of documentation here. What else do you need?
Well, something from the court
It should-
appointing you.
Well, everything should be on record with the town. I brought all the proper paperwork up there with the building department and everything, as far as the death certificate and all that paperwork, so it should be on file with the town.
Mr. Bachter, there's a slight difference between what's on file with the town generally and what's part of your ZBA application. And what the board is looking for is typically it's called something like letters of administration or letters of execution, something like that. It's a one-page document typically that comes from the court that says the court's reviewed your petition and they grant you the right to act on behalf of the estate. So
Okay.
Assuming that the board moves forward tonight, we would just ask that you provide that to us. You can do it at a future date, but prior to getting the permit for, or the CO for the structure.
And what should the title of it say?
It typically
I'm
says
on.
letters. It's on the court letterhead, and it's either a letter from the court directly or something that says letters of administration or a document like that. But it would be from the court to you, except what you provided to us is your affirmation that you sent to the court. What we're looking for is the court's response to your submittal.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure I have it here. I got so much paperwork here that my head's spinning trying to figure out what half this stuff is. I will get that. I will get that to you, and I'll have it faxed over. Okay.
Thank you very
Or
much.
email
Yeah, whichever is easier.
Okay, so
Okay, thank you.
I think that any approval will be conditioned upon that document, but tell us what you want to do.
All right, well, we had a shed in the corner of the property in the backyard. My dad had put one back in early, like 1972, and it was a metal shed. It fell apart. Mom had a new one put up, and they ended up putting up, the original one, the metal one, was a 10 by 10. They ended up putting up a 10 by 12. And it's 2 feet from the border. I'm just looking to get a variance for it.
Okay, and you're in contract to sell?
Yes.
Okay. Christine, do you have any questions?
No, no questions.
Art, do you have any questions?
No questions.
No.
Tony D, any questions?
Tony D, no questions.
Okay. Larry?
No questions.
Diane?
No questions.
Okay. And Phyllis?
No questions.
Tony S.
No questions.
All right, anyone from the public who wishes to comment on this application? All right, I don't hear anyone, so in that regard, then I'll move to close the public hearing.
Second.
All those in favor signify by aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, well, then that carries. Next is item number 5. I'm sorry, number 6, Patrice Knight, Division Street. Is there someone here from that application?
Yes, I'm here. This is Art.
Okay.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're going to provide tonight is true and complete to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Why don't you tell us about this one?
All right, you had been out to this property before. We had requested and you had granted a side yard variance for us on this home. In New Hamburg, it's a particularly unique area where pretty much everything is kind of non-conforming on the properties. This particular piece of property is probably one of the larger pieces of property in New Hamburg. And with this side yard variance, with the location of the house as you had granted it, we can't get a side entry garage in because of the size of the septic in the expansion area. You should have on your maps showing on, if you're facing that house from Division Street, there is the sewage disposal area, then a very, very large expansion area, which we have to provide for the Board of Health. We are hoping to get approval to change the location on the setback of this house from Division Street so we could bring it closer to the road, which would allow us enough distance, which is 10 feet, I believe, or 10.6, from the edge of the expansion area so we can enter the house from the side. If you look through the packet, you'll see there's really no houses in New Hamburg that have a front entry garage, and most of the houses in New Hamburg are very, very close to the road. So we are seeking the change on the setback on the front to bring the house closer to the road.
So, I'm sorry, you're looking for a front or a side garage
Front.
entry?
You granted the side yard. We had met you out there before. You had granted the side yard.
Not the lot line, but the entrance to the garage.
We are looking to bring the house closer to Division Street. Right now, as it stands in the R20 zone, it's a 30-foot setback to the front of the house. We're looking to bring the house closer to the road, so we're farther away from the expansion area on the septic.
Okay. Where will the entrance to the garage be? In the front or the side?
Side. We'd like to have it on the side.
Okay, all right. And the diagram, the survey that you provided, am I correct in the property line is some distance from the roadway? Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Do you know that distance from the property line to the roadway?
I believe it's
17
18
feet.
17 feet.
17 feet.
17?
17,
Yes.
yes.
Okay. All right, that's all I have. Christine?
No questions.
Art?
No questions.
Tony D?
No question.
think he said no question.
I think you said no questions.
Nothing,
I said
Tony?
no questions.
Okay, all right. Larry?
No questions.
Diane?
Is the 17 feet from the center of the road, or is that from what appears to be the edge of the road?
It kind of appears to be the edge of the road.
Sort of appears.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
it's New Hamburg, Diane, you know how that goes.
Exactly. So it's really from the, it looks like maybe from the center. Okay, so, so it's still 17 feet from whatever looks like the edge.
Correct.
It'll
Well,
be,
we're-
But, and you
it'll
don't
be
own that-
17.
And you don't own that 17 feet. I
Go
mean,
ahead, Pat.
no, that house,
So, yeah, so the 17 feet is into the property, but in front of the property line. Where we're trying to put the house is that 17 feet plus another, I think, 13 feet, which makes it 30 feet off the road, yet it takes into account the 17 feet of,
no man's land.
no man's land, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anything else?
No,
Okay,
that's all.
Tony S.
Just a clarification, to make it a little easier to visualize this, in our packet, there's a photograph and there's also a, like a map, a lot line map. And if you look at the map, it actually shows that parcel. It shows the parcel that you're trying to get this variance for as sort of landlocked from Division Street. But that kind of clears it up. If that's 17 feet wide and you're looking for 13 or 14 feet, you'd be like 30 or so feet from the road.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, that's all I have.
Okay. Anyone from the public who wishes to comment on this application? All right, I don't hear anyone, so in that case, I'll move to close the public portion of the hearing.
Second?
All those in favor, signify by aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that carries. Thank you. Next is number
Thank you.
7.
Thank you.
Okay. Next is number 7, Louis Marol, 9 Wildwood Drive.
We're here, Lynn and I are here.
Mr. Morol, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're going to provide tonight is true and complete to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, I did.
All right, what would you like to do?
Well, we would like a variance to put a shed, approximately, well, 10 by 12, 10 foot by 12 foot shed on the side of our driveway. Our property is triangular shaped, giving us 3 frontages, and the 4th side is on a hill where to put a shed up there would be inaccessible and really would not serve any purpose, at least not what we're looking for out of the shed. The shed is set back as far as we can get it off the road. There was some kind of a question of exactly where my property line was, but that's what we're looking for. We'd like to put that shed on the side of our house where the garage is, and incidentally, the door would face the house.
Okay. And so you've excavated some part of the hill to accommodate the shed, correct?
Yes.
Oh.
We
Yes.
yes.
All right, and did you run into any problems?
Yes.
Okay, and what were those
We had
problems?
rented machines to try to take the rock out, and it was very, very difficult after a day of pretty much back-breaking work. We'd gone about as far as we could go into that rock.
That's it.
That's where we're at. We stopped working on it because we found, quite
Because-
frankly, we didn't think there was going to be any kind of an issue.
Because we were
We
far
didn't-
enough from the water
Right,
line
we
where
didn't-
they had said,
Well, we didn't realize that we had 3 frontages at the time.
Okay. And this is a prepared, or it's pre-built shed, is that correct?
It will be built in place, but it's.
No, those glasses you found the other day, those brown frame glasses?
What?
Missing again.
Hey, Larry?
Larry?
Larry, perhaps you could mute yourself for a moment.
Sorry.
That's all right.
I'm sorry, what was the question again?
yeah,
don't-
it's
I don't
pre-made.
remember what
He's
the
asking
question
if it's a
was.
pre-made
Yeah, it's pre-made and they're putting it together when it's delivered.
Right, it'll come in pieces and they'll build it in place. It's a kit, a 2x4 kit with, I think I actually sent you the specs on it.
Right, no, I saw that. Okay. Christine, do you have any questions?
No questions.
Art?
No questions.
Tony D?
Well, Tony's gone.
Where's Tony?
He went away.
Yeah, he's gone. All right.
Tony?
Tony is here. No questions.
Okay. Larry? Now you can, I'm sorry. Okay. Diane?
I have a question. I mean, is this the time to ask a question based on the site visit the other day?
Sure.
Because we were noting that the foundation for this structure is just basically on some pretty rough rubble. It's not a poured foundation, and it's not a very sturdy looking rock base. Is that what the shed will be laid on and built upon, or is there more that's happening before the shed arrives?
There is more that is happening. We stopped. There will be a 4-inch bed of gravel on top of that, which is more than the manufacturer requires to support that shed.
And tell her what's the name.
But it's still that cobbled stonework that's holding the gravel and the.
Right, it'll be again, the gravel that will be under it will be supporting the entire thing. It won't be supported just by the rock that you see in front. That's virtually just an aesthetic. The gravel will be solid.
Okay.
Will be a solid foundation.
There's a name for this, right? But tell them.
It's a gravel foundation. It's more than the manufacturer requires.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. And Larry D, are you back?
Tony.
Tony D, you're back?
Yeah, and I have no questions for the applicant.
Okay. Anyone from the public who wishes to comment on this? All right, hearing nothing, I'll move to close the public hearing on this application.
Second.
All those in favor signify by aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, that's carried. Next is number 8. This is Roopson Corporation Quality Inn, Roadway Inn, 536 Haight Avenue. Is there someone here from that application?
Yes, good evening. It's Richard Roberts from Anchor Sign.
Mr. Roberts, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're going to provide tonight is true and complete to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, I do.
Okay. What's your application?
So our client is converting from a current Days Inn to a Quality Inn, Roadway Inn, and we are replacing the signage for them. We are asking to get a variance in the size of the sign to match what they currently have on a previously approved variance, to go to 45.38 square feet on both the wall sign as well as the new monument sign. Just give them better visibility, better marketing, and overall just match what they currently have approved.
Okay. The existing freestanding sign, do you know how big that is?
If you do the box square footage, it is the same. It's 46 square feet. We tried to get under for both signs on the smallest sign that they had on site so that we didn't have an issue with the variance. So I believe that one was 46 square feet and so we went to 45.38.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It was hard for me to hear, but the wall sign, what's the existing size, the size of that existing sign?
I do not have the existing. The way that sign, if you look at the existing, It's got that oval at the top that causes the square footage to be difficult to calculate depending on how it was calculated the first time. So I'm not sure what you have on the records on the, but from a box square footage standpoint, both of the existing signs are over 46 square feet, which is why we went with the size recommendation that we did.
The freestanding sign had a variance as well.
Do you know what that variance was?
You know, I did not bring it home. I do not have that information on me.
Well, if if the signs are the same size, do they need a variance?
No, this sign turned out to be a foot larger than the last sign, and it's also a different shape.
Okay. And I'm sorry, do you know what the size of the wall sign was? The existing one?
Chrissy, did you just say that
Yeah.
the current sign is the current sign that's being proposed is a foot larger than the sign that it's replacing?
Correct. I do not have the dimensions for the sign that is there currently.
Okay. Let's deal first with the wall sign. Did you get the comments from the county?
Are you speaking to me or?
Yes.
No, I submitted all the required paperwork, but I did not get any additional comments.
All right, so there's a response from the county. That says the applicant seeking area variances to allow two signs, one freestanding sign and one wall sign, both 45.38 square feet, where 12 and 15 square feet are permitted respectively. We find the area variance for the freestanding sign to be a matter of local concern. Regarding the proposed wall sign, the applicant has not provided justification as to why a wall sign of legal dimension is insufficient. New York State directs that when a variance is being considered, only the minimum amount of variance be granted. It also notes the color temperature for the proposed sign. Lighting is 71,000 K, which is a harsh blue light. We suggest lowering this to the maximum of 3,000. And the department recommends that the board rely on its own study of the facts in the case with due consideration of the above comments. Do you want to comment on any of that?
So the sign specs, I'll just talk to the illumination initially. The sign specs do call for 71K. I can get in touch with Choice Hotels and see if they'll allow a lighter LED inside of that. But as far as the illumination, only the white lettering would actually illuminate at night. The other color would be opaque, so it wouldn't shine through, so it wouldn't be as bright as you would expect. But I can definitely ask for a variance for 3,000 K for that sign. And the wall sign, that if you look at that building tucked back on Fairmont and East-West, it actually is a secondary building that has very little visibility. It is quite far back there. I think it was over 50 to 75 feet back from the road, which is why we thought getting the approved variance would help with the visibility, since that's the only place we can put a wall sign on this whole property.
Well, the vestibule, or where you would come into the property, that covered area, that facade there,
Yes, sir.
that's not a reasonable place to put a sign?
That's not, they don't have existing power there. Again, the square footage allowable wouldn't allow them to have a big enough sign that it would be any more visible from the main road than sign A, which currently has power run to it. So I think it was more of an expense, as well as it would be the same visibility based on the size constraints of that line.
Okay, and you were kind enough to provide several renderings of signs, some which fit into the code and what you're requesting, and something in the middle. If we were to grant the one that's in the middle, would that create any severe difficulties?
I'm at you guys' whatever you propose, I would have to bring it up to my client, have them make the decision to continue with the project. I think the monument sign, frankly, is more important, as it has the visibility on the main street. The wall sign was a definite want, but not a must-have at the 45 square feet. So if you did grant that variance, I could present it to the client, and we could move forward from that point.
And in your description of the monument sign, the base, the black base that has no sign on it right now,
yes, sir.
Is that going to be reused, or will that be refabricated?
No, we will refabricate a base to match the drawing you have in the photo. All brand new, aluminum wrapped, painted. Only thing that would be reused would be the foundation and the pole.
Okay. Those are all the questions I have at this time. Christine?
So with the monument sign, is it going to be higher than the existing monument sign?
It would be, again, because it is a square or a rectangle versus that oval shape, the actual overall height would not be larger. It'd be the same height as existing, because we would actually go lower with the aluminum cladding on the bottom to allow it to be the same height. And it would be in that square or rectangle pattern.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Art?
Excuse me. Excuse me. I think I'm okay with the sign on the street, but again, the one on the side of the building, I won't go for. I think it has to be smaller. I don't see any real advantage to having it at all, because the tree line is going to block it. But that's my opinion.
Okay. Tony D.
Tony D. Maybe I haven't been following this as closely as I should have, but I see in the proposal there's two sign Bs. Both are showing rectangular signs, but in the lower right-hand corner of your proposal, it shows one with the oval top, semi-circular top. It says quality 12.04 square footage. The other one are two rectangular signs showing 30.09 square footage. Which is the one that you're looking for?
So I think you're looking at we are asked to provide alternatives to our proposal. So we provided three options: one at the square footage allowed, one in between our proposal, and one at what we were proposing. The only reason you see the top there is because we wanted to show what is existing behind what we would propose. So if you're looking at sign B, option 1, you can see that in red. It says opt 1 at the top left. That just shows the existing in sign there, so you can see from a perspective standpoint how small the actual sign is compared to what's existing. So when we actually do the monument, we won't have any of that. That will all be removed, and the new sign will be put up. Just for perspective.
Okay, so what's your ideal? What's your wish list on this sign, on the monument sign?
On the monument sign, it's option 3. That's what we proposed in the original proposal. On Friday, we were asked to do some alternatives. So it would be option 3. You see for sign B.
Okay, thank you.
Larry?
Yeah, I have no questions.
Diane?
No questions.
Phyllis?
No questions, but I would like to, I'm kind of with Art. The sign on the building is not really in a place that would allow somebody to access the hotel without having already gone past the entrance. So it might be worth considering relocating that sign. That's all.
Okay. Tony S.?
No questions at this time.
All right, so I have a question either for Ms. Guarnieri or Lisa. Assuming that one or both of the variances are not approved, where does that leave the applicant since prior variances were approved?
Well, the town has a code section, and it is 210-119A, which basically says if a sign deals with a business that is no longer existing, the sign has to be removed and the associated therewith are null and void.
So is the interpretation whether the business itself or the type of business ends?
The code, give me one second, I have it open. It says, which no longer identifies a business conducted or product sold on the premises due to the cessation or change of the business. So I think the intent was, even if it's a restaurant and it changes to a new restaurant, it is a change in the business. It doesn't say a change in the type of business, it says a change of the business.
I agree.
Okay.
I was about to say it would be a question for Chrissy, but yeah, that's the way the town has traditionally interpreted it.
Okay. Anyone from the public who wishes to comment on this? Hearing nothing, I'll move to close the public hearing.
Second.
All those in favor signify by aye.
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 Opposed? That motion's carried. Next. Is Fox Run at Fulton, 160 Campus View Court. Is there someone here from for that application?
Good evening. Yes, this is Kelly Leibel from Page Park Associates. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Kelly, do you swear or
I have
affirm-
plans. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're going to provide tonight is true and complete to the best of your knowledge?
I do.
All right. Describe your application for us, please.
I represent Page Park Associates. As many of you know, the Fox Run property is partially built with two prior buildings, Building B and Building C. The last building to be built was Building A on the property. And we were before the planning board in the end of 2019 and beginning of 2020 to make an amendment to the site plan to allow for a building that was a different configuration, mostly because we had acquired the property that was formerly owned by the Avello brothers, which, if many of you recall, that was a paving company that was there. We consolidated those two lots into the Fox Run parent parcel to create one larger parcel, and again was before the planning board to seek an amended site plan approval again in 2019 and in the beginning of 2020. We've since chosen to make some modifications to the bedroom configurations in this building, converting the building from a 3 and 4 bedroom unit to 1 and 2 bedroom units. As such, we were seeking to change some of the space on the lower level that was previously expected to be used for a maintenance area to actually habitable space. This change results in no change to the overall height of the building. What happened is the building is actually built on a hill. And so the backside, rather than just leave an exposed wall, we were creating 7 units on that lower level. And unbeknownst to us, even though there was no change in the overall height, of the building resulting in this change, it actually adds an overall floor to the building. So it goes from a 4-story building to a 5-story building, again, with no change in the height. So we're simply seeking a variance to add a floor to the building, which really results in no change, again, to the overall height of the building. I can show you the elevations if you'd like me to show those to you. I think you do have those in your packages. So I can answer any questions that you might have.
I don't have any questions. Christine?
No questions.
Art?
No questions.
Tony D? Larry?
No questions.
Okay. Diane?
No questions.
Phyllis?
No questions.
Tony S?
Just one comment to make. I looked over your plans, and you have a table on the last sheet of your building plan which shows the number of units of different sizes, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, and so on. And you've indicated somewhere in the application that you were going to decrease the density of the building in terms of the number of people or the number of bedrooms, but we don't have the original plan, so we don't really know what you proposed versus what you're trying to get with the variance.
I understand the modifications to the building. Yes, you're correct. The total overall bedrooms is modified from 142 overall bedrooms down to 97 overall bedrooms as part of this action. It's actually, that's the application that's before the planning board right now. I can show you the elevations. Really, the purposes of the discussion at the moment is the addition of the floor, not necessarily the modification to the number of bedrooms. So we're well within the permitted number of bedrooms for this project. I'm not sure if I answered your question or not.
Okay, I'm just saying that we really didn't have any way of comparing, what your original application was with what you're trying to do now. But again, as you indicate, maybe it's not relevant to what you're seeking.
If you'd like me to share my screen, I can just show you the prior elevations and the current elevations so that you can see that there is no overall change to that height and the back of the building, if you'd like to see that.
Tony, this is Mike Welty. I was just going to also, and I know you're just coming onto the board, but myself and also Lisa Cobb, who's the ZBA attorney, both also sit with the planning board. And so we are very familiar with the project, and it's probably something that if we'd known that you were interested, we certainly could provide you with that information in the future. But we just kind of, I think, assumed that because the board knows that we've already looked at the project quite considerably, that information has been provided to the town, even though it hasn't been provided to you. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah. Well, I really don't need it. That was just the point that I was making.
Yeah. Understood.
Okay. Any other questions? Anyone from the public who wishes to comment on this application? All right, hearing nothing, then I'll move to close the public portion of this application.
Second.
All those in favor signify by aye.
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 Any opposed? Then that passes. All right, I'm going to make a motion to take a short break, and then we'll come back to deliberate each of the applications. Typically, what we do, those people that are present, we'll take those people first, and then decide the other ones in the order that they were heard.
Second that. What's that? Second that break.
Oh, good. All those in favor signify by aye.
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 So we'll be back in 5 minutes at 7:10.
Very good.
Okay, everything's going good. We just took a break. 5 minutes. I love how things work out. So Diane and Tony, are you enjoying your first experience?
Oh, absolutely. It's exciting. No, it's interesting.
Yeah, I just had to figure out how to unmute myself, but yeah. Yeah, it's pretty interesting, actually. Pretty straightforward so far.
You went on field trips on what day?
Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday.
Okay. A number of us go on Sunday, the day before the meeting.
Right.
And sometimes that's beneficial because we get to meet people personally.
Yeah, it makes sense, right?
All right, we're
people
back in
look.
session now and still recording. So I think Linda Apuzzo, you're here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so we'll take yours. Does anybody have any comments on this? Any concerns with the application?
No.
Christine?
Concerns.
Tony, Dee, did you have any problems? Okay, Diane?
No. No problem.
Larry?
No.
Okay, then let me make these findings. Whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties will be created by the granting of the area variance. I don't believe any undesirable change will be in the neighborhood. It's been there probably as long as the neighborhood has been there. Whether the benefits sought by the applicant can be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than an area variance. There is no other way to secure this benefit. Whether the requested area variance is substantial, it is substantial in the sense that no accessory apartments are allowed in a front yard, but other than that, it's not significant.
Accessory structures, not apartments.
Oh, correct, sorry. Whether the proposed variance will have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions of the neighborhood or district, as the applicant indicated that it's been there for many, many years and will not have an impact on the environment or the physical conditions of the neighborhood or district. And whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, which shall be relevant, it's quite clearly self-created in the sense that it's the property owner built it there, but that's not a reason to deny it. And so I would offer those findings. So regarding, let's see, Christine, do you mind making a motion?
Sure. I move that the board approve the request for an area variance set forth in item number 4. This decision is based on a review of the application, testimony of the applicant, testimony offered in the public hearing, and results of site visits by board members. In approving this variance, the board adopts the findings as set forth by the chair. So move.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
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 Any opposed?
Mr. Chair, since we don't have video on everyone, maybe it would be helpful to do a roll call for these.
All right, very good.
Sorry.
Diane?
Aye.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Let's see. Tony D?
Lost him.
Oh, I think he's frozen.
Aye.
I'll take that as an aye. Okay. Art?
Aye.
Larry?
Aye.
Christine?
Aye.
I think is that everybody?
Phyllis is the.
Well,
Do you want to
is-
do one alternate or?
Oh, do we still have is she still, how many?
You do it.
Oh, and me, I vote aye. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Oh, yes.
Phyllis would be 7.
6, 7. Okay, and Phyllis, I guess you will be voting.
Oh, aye.
Okay. Any opposed? Then the motion carries 7-0. Next is number 5. Baxter, 20 Channingville Road. Are you still there, Mr. Baxter?
He's muted.
I have him still signed in, but muted, so let me make these.
There he is.
I am here, sorry about that.
Okay, that's all right. I'm going to make these findings. Whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties will be created by the granting of this area variance. It's similar in the neighborhood. There's nothing unusual about it. Whether the benefits sought by the applicant can be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than an area variance. I don't believe there's any other way for him to get, the property owner to get this benefit other than an area variance. Whether it's substantial, mathematically it's substantial, but the lots and the neighborhood are all kind of substandard, and so this is not a big impact. Whether the proposed variance will have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district, I don't believe so. Whether the alleged difficulty is self-created, which consideration will be relevant to the decision, but shall not necessarily preclude the granting of the area variance. It is self-created in the sense that it's on the property, but that's not a reason to deny it, and I would offer those findings. Art, do you mind making a motion?
Do I mind? Never. I move that the board approve the request for an area variance set forth in item 5. This decision is based on a review of the application, testimony of the applicant, testimony offered in the public hearing, and results of site visits by board members. In approving this variance, the board adopts as findings those set forth by the chair. So moved.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor? Diane?
Aye.
Tony D.
Aye.
Paul Leahy, aye. Art Grace?
Aye.
Larry?
Aye.
Christine?
Aye.
And Phyllis?
Aye.
What?
Tony, yes.
What's that?
Tony, yes.
We have 2 alternates, we only need 1
Oh,
alternate.
gotcha. Thank you.
Okay, so that passes 7-0. Oh, well. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You're okay.
Okay. And is Ms. Knights, are you there?
I am.
Okay. So let me make these findings. Whether an undesirable change will be reduced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties created by the granting. Actually, I think can we adopt the applicant's submission with the exception that of number 5, whether it is self-created. I believe it's certainly self-created since they're building on the property. However, there are significant physical and legal limitations to placing it without any variances. So I would offer those. And any discussion on this? I think the fact that the property line is a significant distance from the roadway, so I think that minimizes the impact of the setback, and it'd be tough to do it anywhere anyway. So I move that the board approve the request for an area variance set forth in item number 6. It's based upon the review of the application, testimony of the applicant, testimony offered in the public hearing, and results of board visits and the findings that I made.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Diane? Was that an aye, Diane?
That was an aye. I don't know what
sorry.
else was going on
Sorry.
there. It wasn't here.
Tony,
Yeah.
Tony D?
Aye.
Okay. Paul Leahy, that's aye. Art?
Aye.
Larry?
Aye.
Christine?
Aye.
And Phyllis?
Aye.
Okay, that passes 7-0. Let's see, who else is here?
Number 7, no? No.
Yeah, they're there. Number 7's here. And Rolly.
Are they here?
Yeah.
It's the bridge, it's the walkway one, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so this is item number 7, 9 Wildwood Drive. I would make these findings. Whether an undesirable change will be reduced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties will be created by the granting of the area variance. They're pretty common in the neighborhood, so I don't think there'll be any impact there. Whether the benefits sought by the applicant can be achieved by some method other than an area variance. The applicant points out that they're based upon the layout of the property and the roadway. There are 3 front yards, and so there's no other way to do it. Whether the requested area variance is substantial, it is substantial in the sense that accessory buildings are not allowed in a front yard, but outside of that, it's not substantial. Whether it will have an adverse impact on the physical or detrimental or environmental conditions in the neighborhood. The topography of the lot, it's very hilly. They've dug into the lot to make room for the shed, and certainly from one way on the roadway, it's completely, you can't see it from one way, and from the other way, it's right into the bank. So I don't believe it'll have any impact on the physical or environmental conditions. And whether it's self-created is certainly self-created since they bought the lot, but that's not a reason to deny it. And so I would make those findings. And so, Tony D., do you mind making a motion?
I'd be happy to.
Thank you.
Okay, so, I'm sorry, we're on item number 7. I move that the board approve the request for an area variance set forth in item number 7. This decision is based on the review of the application, testimony of the applicant, and testimony offered in the public hearing, and results of the site visits by board members. In approving this variance, the board adopts the findings as set forth by the chair.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor? Diane?
Aye.
Tony D.?
Aye.
I'm in favor. Art?
Aye.
Larry?
Aye.
Christine?
Aye.
And Phyllis?
Aye.
Okay. Then that passes 7-0. So, is Kelly still there? All right. So next is number 9, Fox Run. I think there is a staff report. Okay. So, Larry, do you mind making this motion?
Number 9.
Number 9.
Okay. I move that the board approve the request for an area variance set forth in item number 9. The decision is based on a review of the application, testimony of the applicant, testimony offered in the public hearing, results of site visits by board members, and the chairman's summary.
Actually, there's a staff report recommending
Oh,
that.
okay. Results of site visits by board members and the staff report.
Second.
In approving this variance, the board adopts its findings and determinations found in the staff report.
Now I'll second it.
Okay. Any discussion? So this is really a variance to add an additional story, which has no impact really on the height, which I think is what the code is particularly concerned about. So I agree with the staff's recommendation. And Phyllis, you've been able to vote on each one of these, so.
Can I just interrupt? I'm sorry. I noticed that we didn't actually do a motion on the neg deck.
That's true.
And we should do that.
Okay. Yeah, because you told me not to forget that. So I move that this application has no impact on the environment.
And there's a neg deck that is dated today, December 14th. That was prepared by Lisa Cobb.
Yes, which I put right here. So I move we accept that negative declaration.
Second.
So, okay. All those in favor signify by aye. Diane?
Aye.
Tony? D? Aye. Art?
Aye.
Okay. Larry?
Aye.
Christine?
Aye.
And Tony S., I'd ask you to vote on this one.
Aye.
Very well, that passes. Now, regarding the motion, Was there a second on Larry's motion?
There was, Art seconded it.
Okay. Any discussion on this other than this is really, it's, while it's talking about an extra story, it's really, there's no change in the height based upon the topography and stuff, so.
Right.
All right, does anyone have any concerns with it? Okay, then, Diane?
Yeah?
All those in favor signify by aye. Diane? Sorry.
Aye.
Okay. Tony D?
Aye.
I'm in favor. Art?
Aye.
Larry?
Aye.
Christine?
Aye.
And Larry S.
Tony.
Tony S., sorry.
Aye.
Okay, that passes 7-0. So let's go.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening and have a good holiday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so that brings us back to number 3. 47 Hagen Drive. Let's see. Oh, okay, yeah, we'll do that one. All right, let me offer these findings, whether an undesirable change would reduce in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties. The neighborhood is similarly situated. There are sheds in many other neighbors' yards. Whether it can be achieved by some method other than an area variance, no, there's no real place other than, there's no place to put the shed without needing an area variance. And whether it's substantial in the sense of the setback. However, the impact on the environment is pretty minimal based upon the size of the lot, and whether it will have an adverse effect on the impact or physical environmental conditions of the neighborhood or district. As the applicant indicated, he's actually going to put the shed farther away from the side lot line than the existing shed, so it will have less of an impact. And whether it's self-created, it certainly is self-created, as he wants to put a shed where it won't fit, but that's not a reason to deny it. And so I would offer those findings.
Second.
Okay, so let's see. Christine, do you mind doing this?
Sure. This is number 3. I move that the board approve the request for an area variance set forth in item number 3. This decision is based on a review of the application, testimony of the applicant, testimony offered in the public hearing, and results of site visits by board members. In approving this variance, the board adopts the findings as set forth by the chair. So move.
Second. Second.
All right, any discussion about this one? Anybody have a problem? Okay, then all those in favor signify by aye. Diane?
Aye.
Tony D?
Aye.
I'm in favor. Art?
Aye.
Larry?
Aye.
Christine?
Aye.
And Tony S?
Aye.
Okay, that passes 7-0.
Mr. Chair, does Linda know that she was approved? If she wants to.
We did her, didn't we?
Yes. If she wants
Yeah.
to.
So, is it Ms. Rupero? Is it Puzo?
Yes, yes. I'm here.
Yeah. We approved those. Are you just watching because it's so interesting, or?
Okay. No, I wasn't. I thought I was supposed to stay to the end.
No, only us. Only us.
You should all stay to the end, but you know, there's always a surprise at the end.
Okay. I thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Good night.
Okay. Actually, I got that in the wrong
We're
one.
on number 8.
Okay, so first, I move that, based upon the short EAF form, there's a a determination of or of insignificance on this project. Someone second that?
Second.
All right. All those in favor signify by aye.
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 Any opposed to that? Okay, then that passes.
In terms of the staff report, I did leave the option to you as far as, obviously if there's a meeting, something less than what they requested that you were looking for. So the findings, would work either way, but you should have a discussion first about the two variances requested.
So, let me put in my input on this. I think the new sign, notwithstanding any measurements that may or may not happen, the proposed new sign is significantly bigger than the appearance of the old sign. It's right next to the highway. The applicant was kind enough to submit several different renderings. One, I agree that what's permitted in the zone is too small, but I feel that the one that they want, the 45 square feet, is too big for the area. I would agree that the 30 square foot one is appropriate, particularly in light of the fact that they had to build a new foundation anyway, or a new case anyway for it. So that would be my approach to it. Regarding the wall sign, the county thinks the applicant hasn't justified it, and I have to agree with that. You can't see it from any place. I don't know what the purpose of it is. They're entitled to have a sign there if they want, but I don't think that they need a variance for anything greater than what the code allows, and that would be my position. Anyone else?
The lighting. What about the lighting?
And the county had recommended, and I have to agree with the submission that the lighting is too bright, and so I think that if we approve, whatever we approve needs to be conditioned on the reduction in light as recommended by the county. Anybody have a problem with that or want to add anything?
I have a question. Which, on the roadway sign, on the 44th side, which option are you proposing to adopt?
And the middle one, I think it's 30 square feet. I calculated it out.
That would be option 2. Okay. The 2 rectangular signs.
Correct.
Okay. Just wanted to be clear.
Are you saying that the wall sign should be smaller than the existing one that was there?
Same. No bigger than the one that's there, right, Paul?
The wall sign?
Right.
The wall sign, I don't think there's any reason to grant a variance for a wall sign. So whatever the code allows.
And if the existing one from the Days Inn was larger than the code, are you saying that it could go to that size or it has to revert to what the code calls for?
The wall sign would have to revert to what the code calls for. I think.
15 square feet.
Right.
Diane, the existing wall sign received a variance, and it is significant. It's about 3 times larger than what it allows.
Right. That was my recollection. So, I mean, I would have to think it could be that size, but not larger.
But that existing wall sign really doesn't serve any real purpose.
Yeah, I don't see that it offers any benefit to the applicant.
It's only visible from Fairmont Avenue, and from that direction, you have to proceed south, go around the block, come north again, and then come east to visit the property. There's no way for direct access into the property from there.
Yeah, I don't see that there's any benefit. So the analysis we use is whether the benefit to the applicant outweighs any detriment to the environment or the neighborhood. And I don't see that there's much of a benefit to the applicant for the sign in the first place. They're entitled to have a sign. The code allows them to have a sign at a certain size, 15 square feet. They're entitled to do that if they so choose. I don't think that there's a reason to exceed that. I don't think that they've offered any reasons why it's important to them or it's a benefit to them. The fact that you can't see it from anywhere, it's not a directional sign, I don't see any benefit from granting, I don't see any benefit to the sign in order to grant them a variance. And let me make sure about.
I concur.
Sorry, before we move on, Paul, will you decide which of the alternates you're having vote on this matter? Because only that alternate should be involved in the deliberation of the matter.
So, I thought that.
It's fine to have both alternates ask questions if they have during the question period of the meeting. That's not an issue at all. But when you get to the deliberation point, which is where we are now, you should have only the person who's actually doing the voting, doing the deliberating.
Okay. So.
Well,
I think Larry has a question.
Okay, go ahead, Larry.
yeah, the only benefit that could be to the sign is that, first of all, when you have a GPS, we're assuming that the GPS is going to direct you, so you would come to the main entrance where that large monument sign is. But sometimes they don't do that. So the only purpose of the other sign would be if you were going across, what is that, Fairmount, when you saw that sign, you would say, oh, I passed it, and you would know where it was located, so you could then go around the block.
Yeah, but the sign that's on the road is more than ample to indicate that.
But you wouldn't see it if you were coming across.
Sure you will. Sure you will.
Hmm?
No, you wouldn't see it. It's behind a tree. You mean if you were coming from the north heading south on Fairmount?
If you were coming from where the Domino's Pizza Place Plaza is, coming across over the arterial, unless you were looking to the right for some reason, and I don't know if it's blocked by a tree or not, you know, that would tell you passed it. Not a great reason, but.
I think the wall sign would be helpful. I don't think it has to be as big as they want it, and probably the minimum, you know, that they could put up, which is the 15, which they wouldn't require a variance, would probably be sufficient, but I can see why they'd want something on the wall.
And you know, we're also, quite frankly, I think Paul's in favor of a greater variance on the monument sign than I was going to be. But granting that, you know, again, that wall sign on the building facing Fairmont is not as necessary as, I think I'd rather grant the larger variance than what I was initially inclined for on 4455.
So what I would propose is the 30 is option 2, sign B, the 30.09 square feet.
Yes, that's the one, and I agree with you. I was inclined to go with the option 1, but
yeah, I think that's a little small. I think that's.
And like I said, you know, the one on 4455 is more important than any other signage on the building, I think.
And in fact, that's what the applicant said, so. Anybody else have any comments? Larry?
No.
So Lisa, so should we split? Should the motion just be to, assuming we're going to authorize a variance for the freestanding sign and not for the wall sign. Is that how the motion should go?
I would do them as separate signs, and that way you can have a motion and a second and discussion on each of the signs.
Okay. All right.
And who's going to be the seventh voting member?
I'm sorry?
Who's going to be the seventh voting member?
Well-
Will it be Philip or Tony S.?
Tony, do you want to do it, or Phyllis?
Makes no difference to me, Paul.
Okay. Tony, we'll give you a shot. See how you do.
Go for it. Come on, Tony.
Fair enough.
All right. Let's see. So I make a motion that the board approve that portion of a variance set forth in item number 8 for 18.09 square feet variance for a freestanding sign where only 12 feet is permitted. Decision is based upon the review of the application, testimony of the applicant, testimony offered in the public hearing, results of site visit by board members, and the staff report. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
So this would be an overall 30.09 square foot freestanding sign. All right, any discussion on this? No? Larry, any discussion?
No.
Diane?
No.
Okay, and Tony S.
No discussion.
Tony D.
No discussion.
Okay.
I seconded.
Okay. All those in favor signify by aye. So, Diane?
Aye.
Tony D?
Aye.
Aye. Art?
Aye.
Larry?
Aye.
Christine?
Aye.
Aye.
And Tony S.
Aye.
Okay.
Did the board want to put the Kelvins as a condition?
Condition, okay, and so let me amend that to include the condition that the applicant follow the recommendations of the county regarding the intensity of the lights to be reduced to 3,000 K.
And I'm sorry, could we also add a condition that the landscaping be at least maintained or replaced around the base of the freestanding sign? We never got to speak about it, but I just wanted to make sure that when they're ripping it up, that it goes back in the spring.
Great.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll add that.
Add that, thank you.
Okay. In that case, with those amendments, all those in favor signify by aye.
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 Larry?
Aye.
Okay, I'm sorry. Any opposed? Okay, then that portion carries. Regarding the one for the freestanding side, I would move to deny.
No, the wall sign.
The wall sign, I'm sorry. I would move to deny that request for a variance. Is there any discussion on that?
No, I agree with what you said. Whatever's allowed, it should be more than ample for the few
So,
people that.
so would the proper, you said 15 feet or 12 feet is the square feet? Is the,
The wall sign is 15
15
feet.
feet on the wall.
15 for the wall.
so will that actually be visible? What's that? It's like a 3x5 sign? I mean,
Up to
Is that-
It may not be, but it's allowed.
So-
They can put it wherever they want, where they think it would be more visible, but I don't see any benefit to them where it is in the first place, notwithstanding Larry's position. Does anybody want to have a bigger sign there?
No.
Not me.
Okay. Then I move that the board deny the request for an area variance set forth in item number 8 regarding the wall sign This decision is based upon the review of the application, testimony of the applicant, testimony offered in the public hearing, results of site visits by board members, and the staff report.
Second. Oops.
And the board adopts the findings found in items 1 through 5 of the staff report. Sorry.
Second.
All those in favor signify by aye. Diane?
Aye.
Art, I'm sorry, Tony?
Aye.
I'm in favor.
Aye.
Art?
Aye.
Larry?
Aye.
Christine?
Aye.
And Tony S.
Aye.
Okay, then that motion to deny the variance passes. I don't see any other, anything else for tonight, so I would move to adjourn and wish everyone a happy holiday and safe end of the year,
Second.
and even a safe beginning of the next year.
Still second.
All those in favor signify by aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, good night. Thanks very much for your time
Nice
tonight.
meeting all of you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.
Everyone.
Aye.
Good night, thank you.